This is 5.4, Ellipse Day 2 notes. It says write the equation of ellipse in standard form that has a center at negative 6, 5, endpoints of the major axis, remember this is your vertex, at negative 9, 5 and negative 3, 5, and endpoints of the minor axis, this is the co-vertex, at negative 6, 7 and negative 6, 3. Okay, I've given you a graph to help you out, and so in your homework you're going to have to use your own graph paper. So let's start by plotting this. Center of negative 6, 5. And remember, go ahead and label as you're doing this. Endpoints of your major axis at negative 9, 5 and negative 3, 5. This is your vertex. And then endpoints of your minor axis, that's your co-vertex, is negative 6, 7. That would be here, that's your co-vertex, and negative 6, 3. And from here, I would go ahead and decide what your A and your B are. So my A is from here to here, so that's 1, 2, 3. So A is a distance of 3. B is a distance of 2. And we know that this is going to be horizontal. We can start writing our equation. Remember, our center is here. So you can say x plus 6 quantity squared plus y minus 5 quantity squared. Horizontal means your A goes first. So that's going to be 9. Your B is going to be 4. And that should be all that you need to do. And you can finish your sketch, but you don't even have to. Okay, number 2 says write an equation of an ellipse in standard form that has endpoints of your minor axes. Remember, your minor axes is your co-vertex, and one endpoint of your major axes, which is your vertex. So minor axes at negative 5 and 17 and negative 5, 13, and these are your co-vertex. Major axes is at 0, 15, and no center. So it looks like here is your center at negative 5, 15. And if this is your vertex, then it looks like we have a horizontal. So writing this out, let's say x plus 5, quantity squared, y minus 15, quantity squared, is equal to 1. You know your b value is 2, and your a value is 5. So that means that A is 25 and B is 4. Okay, on 3, it says write the equation of ellipse in standard form that has a focus of 4, negative 5 and negative 2, 5. So they're given both of those and only one endpoint of the minor. So this is a co-vertex of 1, negative 2. Co-vertex here. Focus of 4, negative 5, and negative 2, negative 5. Okay, again, this is going to be horizontal. If your focus are here, that means your vertex are going to be on the outside. You still can find your center if you count in between. 1, negative 5. Go ahead and set it up. So this is x minus 1 quantity squared, y plus 5 quantity squared. Again, horizontal means your A goes first. And I don't know that. I do know my B value is 3. So if B is 3, then this is 9. So it looks like we're going to have to use our formula here. So we know also C is 3 as well. So let's do C squared equals A squared minus B squared. So if c squared is 9. We don't know a squared, but b squared is also 9. If we solve for a squared, because all we need is a squared, it looks like a squared is going to be 18. Okay. Okay, last problem. It says write the equation of ellipse in standard form as a center of 1, 2, has an end of the major axis at 1, 5. So this is your vertex. And it contains, and it just has a point. So we could plot our other vertex. We know this is a vertical problem. And we know our a value is 4. So let's start writing our equation. We have x minus 1 quantity squared. And we have y minus 2 quantity squared is equal to 1. Since it's vertical, we know a is going to be over here, so this is 16, and we don't know b. We do have a point, so that means that we have an xy. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in since that's all that we know at this point. So that gives us a negative 3 minus 1 quantity squared over b, which we're going to solve for. Our y value is 5 minus 2 quantity squared over 16. Go ahead and simplify your top and square it. So that's negative 4 squared, which is 16. And that's b squared. And 5 minus 2 is 3 squared, so that's 9 over 16, and that's equal to 1. You can multiply by your common denominator, or I'm actually going to move this over so I'll have a proportion. So this is 16 over b squared, and I'm going to do a common denominator. So this is 16 over 16 minus 9 minus 16. So this is this number right here. So 16 minus 9 is 7. So this gives me 7 over 16.